live.
We live.
Pop up on them.
Pop up podcast, man.
All right. So we're gonna jump right into it because we're gonna try to be quick here. Anybody that ends up joining us in the chat, we appreciate it. We're gonna try to keep it going for a little bit, not too long. We're gonna jump right into it. So today, November 1st, unfortunately, very early in the hours of this morning, rapper Takeoff was murdered in Houston, Texas, at some sort of Halloween party or get together that it seems like. This is obviously going to be another death as far as gun violence and hip hop. You know, that toll is kind of like adding up. So on top of that, we're going to talk about that whole situation. We're going to talk about videos that we've seen, tweets that we've seen from people that were allegedly there. We're going to talk about what might have led up to it, and we're going to talk about the aftermath and what might happen next with everything that's going down. So first off, let's talk about some of these videos. I know Clay, you told us earlier that you saw a video. Don, you sent us a video earlier, that like in the early hours of this morning, like 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
I
peeped it early this morning. Like,
yeah, you know.
I was surprised y'all was up. Usually I'm the only one up getting ready for work.
I opened my eyes and Pop-Up TV was the first thing I saw reporting it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, bro.
I seen it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I was like, yo, what?
See, in the morning I be like, cause I gotta get up like about like 6:30. So at like 6 o'clock I get up and start scrolling just to get my, you know what I'm saying? You know how you scroll just to wake up. And then I seen that and I'm like, yo, and I keep scrolling. That's all I seen. I'm like, that's crazy, bro.
Bro, this is crazy,
Wicked, man. Wicked.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna talk about some of these videos that we saw. I personally saw a video that didn't really show that much. I know there's a couple of videos and pictures circling the internet. The video I saw kind of just showed the aftermath, and it looked like Quavo trying to just kind of like confirm that Takeoff was dead, and then they obviously had to leave the scene. Now, more interestingly, though, I believe a couple blogs have been posting a new video that kind of showed the before what happened. And interestingly enough, in this video, we see Quavo arguing with someone. Takeoff, I don't even think you can really even see Takeoff in that video that I saw. Quavo's arguing with someone, and that argument escalates, and Quavo actually ends up being the person who throws the first punch. And after that punch is thrown, then, you know, it erupts in straight gunfire. And it sounds like whoever was shooting, if it was one person, they let off the entire clip. And so obviously Takeoff was hit. It seems like he couldn't get to cover in time, and unfortunately he lost his life. So one of the interesting things about the videos, you don't see any, you know, what they were doing before. Obviously, a lot of rumors have been circulating that they were playing dice or they were shooting dice.
You don't see none of that.
You don't see none of that. And there's also text, confirmed people that were there when it happened that put out text. One in particular, a girl claims that there was actually an argument, which we do see evidence of between Quavo and whoever he was arguing with. At which point then Quavo obviously ended up throwing a punch. Because if you can't really hear too well what is said, I know in there I heard, I don't know, I couldn't really hear too well. I don't know if y'all caught any of what was being said.
But I didn't really catch too much. I heard like this is random words that brought up because it just I was like, yo, I didn't mention basketball. I think Quavo mentioned something about basketball. He's like, yo,
I did hear that. Yeah, I heard that in the video.
Yeah, what's basketball got to do with it?
Right.
So I didn't.
But that's how you know that they was just having some type of egotistic argument. Because you know, niggas. Once niggas start talking about basketball, it's like, all right, bro, you reaching. Like we was just talking about this.
Yeah, because and from like I said, like that girl was saying, what she claims is that there was an argument over apparently Quavo was a boxer and he's like practicing boxing, and the guy mentioned something about that, and Quavo didn't like it. But from what you saying, maybe that basketball reference was something that she was getting it confused, or I don't know. Or maybe, and another thing she claims is that this argument was like a long argument, like it started from inside and ended up outside, and you know.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that.
I'm thinking it probably all happened, honestly, because like I said, if I'm getting into an argument with somebody that like I know there's tension there, you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, a bunch of other ish that ain't got nothing to do with the root of the argument starts popping up. You know what I'm saying? Where you start talking, well, I'm better than basketball with you. I dress better than you. You know what I'm saying? That's when the meme comes in with I dress better than you. I cook better than you. Like, that's how.
So I'm saying though, like you think it was there was no dice game. This is when it wasn't over a dice game at all.
Oh, I'm sure there was a dice game.
I'm sure there was a dice game involved.
Yeah, there was a dice game. I saw pictures of when they were like standing while niggas were shooting dice. I seen that, but I just don't from how they were originally describing it. Because another girl that was there, which I also think is true, claims that Quavo was losing really badly in this dice game, and that was kind of agitating him, and that he was kind of mentioning that over and over. And that
put a number, not to cut you off, just to put a number on how much money he lost.
Oh, there's a number?
I got word from Shorty, said that apparently it was only 7 G's.
Oh no, I feel like it would have to be more than 7 G's for Quavo to 7 G's, dog. I don't think
that's the number they saying,
even
bro.
Who's they? Where's that source?
I should have asked.
I heard that number too.
She read that on her way here.
You heard 7,000, EJ?
I heard that number too, but I mean, like, when it comes, like, when you losing, it don't matter,
nigga. But these are the type of niggas they probably lose 7,000 on the slots at the casino. Like,
but you never know how much. That's what I'm saying. You never know how much somebody down, bro. Like, because if you go to a dice game, a lot of times
because they are, you don't know how much money they really got too. You know,
not even
nigga,
that.
$7,000.
Not even that. No, this is how you got to put it. Because like I've been to the casino before, right? And people be down, like, and you see them lose like $100, $200, and like to me that'll be losing a lot. Or you see them win. All right, let me put it this way: you see them win like $200-$300, and like they don't have no like happiness on their face because they already down like 20,000. You know what I'm saying? They down 30,000. So I'm thinking if it's 7,000 he lost in a dice game, bro probably was gambling before at a casino, probably lost 20, 25, 30,000. You know what I'm saying? Bro was probably on a losing streak, came to play some dice to try and, you know what I'm saying, get back, and was losing more and probably was hot. Right. You know what I'm saying?
That's possible. It's possible. I mean, I don't know. It's possible. Especially since it was a dice game, I would hope he wasn't betting no more than a couple $1,000 on dice. You know what I mean?
The real issue is, though, you were saying earlier, like, yo, why you in the, well, I don't know the specifics on where it was at, but why are you playing dice with a bunch of hood niggas? That is my main issue with that. Like,
yeah, which is another thing I kind of want to get into, because it seems like I was talking to someone earlier about it, and like if you look at the pictures and videos, because there was another rumor that I didn't get a source from either, to be honest, but someone was saying that Offset was there, which I don't think is true, because I feel like that would have been more publicized, and also he's not on good terms with them right now. But I don't think that one's true. But what's interesting about it is that, like, what made me think was like, okay, usually when there's parties like this, right, especially like a Halloween party, if it's that kind of like upper class industry party, even with rappers, you see mad other rappers there. I'm not seeing reports of no other rappers in the game that's known that being at this thing. So it's like, it kind of goes along with what Don was saying, is like, they might not have been in the hood, but they were clearly in some kind of environment that wasn't a super like up to their notch or their level. Because that's kind of like the crazy thing about this, right? Specifically being Takeoff, or if it were anyone in the Migos, is like, you don't see, like, you know, when it comes to the gun violence and the shooting and these rappers dying, usually it's like niggas that are really still kind of should be halfway connected to the streets, you know what I mean? Or a super just like robbery incident like PNB Rock or like X. But like with this, it's like, man, like y'all niggas are like niggas that's like touching Grammy level, you know, artists, like getting over a dice game. Like this is even worse than the incident that happened with Nipsey Hussle, because while he was also like a big up there rapper, probably the biggest since this, his situation was niggas ran up on him in the parking lot of his establishment. You know what I mean? Like while things was going on. A dice game, I just would never. When I first saw it, I didn't read the story. I thought maybe it was a situation where he drank too much, some drugs, something, or maybe, you know, whatever. But dice, and then like being in the situation and then leading to that argument and getting shot over that was just like, yo, that's crazy. But Clay, what you think? What do you think about as far as the environment and like where they was at?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to agree. Like, I mean, they definitely didn't seem like they belong there for sure. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see him. Well, I can see him.
Oh.
Okay, you good? Yeah, you good now.
Oh,
You're good
okay,
now.
that was weird.
Yeah.
All right, but
Yeah.
so like I'm pretty much agreeing with what you said, man. Like it doesn't make sense as to why when these rappers become established, they still feel like they have something to prove in the hood or to anyone who's of that type of like, status where they have street cred and all this. Like none of that matters. And it's funny because Jeezy just dropped an album, The Snowfall, and on one of the records he's like, I can't buy nothing with street cred. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like who cares about the street cred, bro? Like as long as you making your money, you feeding your family, that should be the most important thing. But it just seems like they just was some of them artists who just feel like they had to go back and prove themselves, especially them being from Northside Georgia, Atlanta, where they're not from the city of Atlanta, like a city of Atlanta. They didn't necessarily grow up in the gutter of Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
they
that's
probably
another
just
thing I
feel
heard. I
like,
heard that Migos wasn't even really like grown up. They wasn't super
no,
like
they
were.
admitted it on Drink Champs. They admitted it. They said they grew up north. They did not grow up in the hood. They grew up north in the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? So
And you
it's
see
like,
how that you grew up your whole life not in that environment to even be in that situation. And then you make millions, and you should really not be in that situation no more. And then somehow you end up in that situation.
Right.
I mean, it's a mindset because like you're not gonna see no like just a random name out the hat. You ain't gonna see Justin Bieber at a dice game full of hood niggas. Like,
and that's what I was saying. My thing is like, and like Clay was just saying, is like this. And I was talking to someone earlier that said it. It's like this reliance or this fixation on I gotta stay real. I gotta be in the streets, or I gotta do street shit at least. Because it's like you said, nigga, like Justin Bieber hangs out with the Migos. You know what I mean? But he would not have been at that dice game. Like he wouldn't have been nowhere near that type of shit. So it's like, once you're at that level, why would you even want to? I don't know. Why would you even want to associate with stuff like that? And another thing that we were talking about was like, so as far as the situation, like. Takeoff clearly, from what they're saying, wasn't even and you can see in the video, he wasn't the agitator. You can barely see him or hear him in the video. He was clearly just standing around. Which all do you think that, judging by how the video looks, and obviously now we know Quavo threw the first punch, do you think he's gonna be living with this? He gonna have some regrets? That he gonna,
for sure, he gonna have the means. So they said survivor's remorse. You know what I'm saying? Because we seen he threw the first punch. We seen he was the agitator, and crazy thing is from what I heard, and we was talking about that earlier. Like from what I heard earlier, it was the other, like whoever they were fighting. No, sorry, it was their people who shot. You know what I'm saying? But then again, that video, it sounds like the other crew shot. So I don't know. But either way, I feel like Quavo gonna have the mean survivor's remorse because like if he didn't throw punches or if he didn't, you know what I'm saying, wasn't the agitator, that all probably wouldn't have happened.
Right. Yeah, this is what it seems like, and he's probably gonna be thinking about that, like, yo, if I didn't throw that punch, niggas wouldn't have shot. And another thing that was rumored is that the people that they were playing this dice game with weren't exactly people. They were guys they already kind of didn't have a good status with. Like they kind of had problems with them already.
Which is even crazier, bro.
Which is even crazier. Like, why are y'all even there?
Yeah. So that's another thing that was brought up. So like we kind of mentioned earlier too, is like now that this is another addition to the rappers that have been shot and killed in the past maybe 3-4 years, which has been well over 10 at this point.
A whole bunch. Like I can't even count. It's it's crazy. Rachel, I was talking to Rachel earlier. She's like, yo, I was, you know what I'm saying, I heard the news about Takeoff, but like, she was scrolling through whatever and she didn't see nothing on it. So I'm thinking at this point, it's kind of like, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, we're kind of desensitized to these things. Like it happens and it just is news. Yeah, it's just news and then it just goes away, kind of like not too many people.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it.
I ain't gonna lie though, like this is probably the first, not the first, but out of all the tragedies that have happened this year so far with rappers passing away, like this is the one where like throughout the day I'm like, dang man, did that really happen? And I kept going back to Twitter, like really looking like this really happened, bro. You know what I'm saying?
This is one of the biggest ones. Can't think of anyone like Nipsey was pretty big, but we can even debate that Migos was bigger than Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? Migos is huge. So Takeoff is definitely a big L for the rap community.
And And what makes this like extra interesting to me too is, or extra sad, is that like this happened at a time when they wasn't exactly like, not, well, at least them and Offset weren't exactly 100% from what we've seen in the recent media and stuff. And I mean, obviously, I don't know. We don't know. We're not in their personal lives, but I'd hope that they was at least in communication and talking regularly. And I hope that him and Offset this didn't happen with them being on like bad terms. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true.
I'm pretty sure when he got that call, he was quite upset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
I don't know. I don't know how that feels to be on like odd, weird terms with somebody, and that person pass away or whatever. But I know that could be like, that probably is really mentally draining or straining or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not too good on your mental health.
For sure. And real quick, there's no one in the chat, right?
There's people in the live. It's just nobody's chatting right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, and like another thing that's interesting too is that like one of the I think this might even be, or this kind of situation might be some of the reason or part of why Offset didn't want to do the whole Migos gag anymore. You can tell, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he probably was distancing himself from all the BS.
Because you could tell specifically them two, Takeoff and Quavo, are really more so trying to keep up the We Still Gangster kind of thing, where Offset is more so trying to lean towards family and just like the music shit. And you could tell he didn't want to do shit like that no more, like be shooting dice and shit at parties, and because this is what could happen. Like,
that's true.
And what's really, I think before this, a lot of us limited it to like, okay, it could only happen to niggas like niggas like Pop, but even Pop Smoke, although his shine was a short period of time, he got pretty big in that period of time, and same thing ended up happening to him. And it's like, dude, I don't know. I feel like this. What do you guys think is gonna happen with these guys in the future? Because me now, if I was one of the gangster rappers, or I guess you could call them, I don't know, I would be thinking like, is this worth it to die like?
Yeah, that's I don't.
He was 28 years old, bro.
I don't think that's gonna stop them. I think what more is, honestly, is gonna have to be. It's gonna.
Let me ask you, right? Mm-hmm. The picture these guys paint in their songs from that same scene that we saw to Takeoff, they painted so much more lovelier. Niggas shot spine, we start busting back. Y'all dead. That's not what we saw happen here.
Yeah.
So clearly y'all are proving that what y'all think, maybe, I don't know, what y'all think will happen, or what you want to convince us is how shit will happen. It's not. It seems like y'all niggas is just dying. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
When is the last time you heard in the news, rapper kill someone who tried to rob them? No, you hear it the other way around.
Yeah. That's true.
What kind of crazy person would you have to be because I don't care. If this happened to Takeoff, it could happen to Lil Baby. It could happen to Dub Baby.
And all of them.
I don't care. All of them want to act like, because if you listen to these niggas songs, as we do every day, they all act like, oh, I'm Mr. Untouchable. Niggas can't touch me. A nigga touched my chain. I wish, blah, blah, blah. Takeoff proved you can be standing right there and just get shot even if it wasn't intended to be you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's and yeah, that's for sure. And I was thinking to myself that same thing. Like, what would it take? And I'm thinking the only thing that would regulate it, because it's probably not gonna happen, but it's I feel like government is gonna have to step in when it comes to like rap music. Like,
look at Jamaica just banned. Just banned top music.
Exactly. So they're probably it would have to be something like that, like them stepping in, regulating it, not stopping it, but regulating it. Like, yo, look, this gotta come in. But I don't think that's gonna happen. You know?
Because if that happens, record labels are gonna lose a lot of money, man. Because what do you do now if Lil Baby can't rap? Because even Lil Baby's last album, I expected him to at least somewhat kind of tone down the narrative because of the situation with Gunna and Thug. He did not. Kodak. If you listen to Kodak shit he dropped Friday, we could arrest him tomorrow if we was the police.
His album fire, by the way.
It's fire. It's fire.
But you know,
fire.
You know what about that though? Like, I could understand the music. Like, and we spoke about this on a few podcasts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, although I wouldn't condone like making the music like that, I can understand it. Mm-hmm. But actually being at a dice game and stuff like that, and being in the streets, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kodak should not be in Pompano on, you know what I'm saying, on the dirty corner. At any time, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, make your music, make your bread, make your money, all right? You know what I'm saying? But don't be out there really trying to prove what you're rapping about. Proving your entertainment, because pretty much they're contradicting a lot of people's argument for Gunna and Thug. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
That is true.
they're
But not
contradicting.
only that, but I was gonna say, damn, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Wait till I remember. Go ahead, Jay.
So I didn't have anything.
Nah, so I mean,
I thought you had
I'll keep going. What I was saying is like
Yeah,
they're contradicting. They're contradicting Gunna and Thug. That whole situation with Gunna and Thug saying it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because like, okay, it's entertainment. A lot of people do like the music. It is cool to listen to, you know what I'm saying, that music, and some goes hard. So let it be entertainment. You know what I'm saying? If it's gonna be entertainment, at least let niggas know, like, look, this is not the life to live. I'm merely painting a picture. Maybe I've seen this before. Maybe this has happened before.
That's
this
what
has
I was
happened
gonna
to
say.
me. You was gonna say that?
Right.
You got your train of thought?
No. What I was gonna say was, again, I'm not gonna lie. If y'all didn't watch Jeezy's Drink Champ interview, go watch that, John, because he gave a lot of game. But one thing that he said in that interview that comes back to what we're talking about right now is that a lot of people, a lot of people are.
He's gone.
Am I good?
You notice that?
Nah. I see him. I hear him perfectly.
Oh shit, yeah. So it's me then. See, it's that same thing I was doing with Dre.
Oh, okay.
Do you hear him?
But
no, I hear him. Yeah, no, I see him.
Do you hear me now? Okay. So what I was gonna say was this: the one thing Jeezy said on the interview that resonates with what we're talking about right now is that a lot of people feel like they need to be in the game because they feel like, oh, I can't. Like if the game changes a certain way, like I'm not going to be able to be like, oh, I'm in the game because I'm not going to be rapping about what's actually going on. Mm-hmm. But the game never changes. Like if you really look at history and look at situations, the game never changes. The players always stay the same. And real gangsters have been saying that for how many years now, but people still feel like, oh, I got to be in it or else I'm going to miss a step or I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? And it's sad that we have all these lessons. We have everything in front of us that shows that this ain't the way, this is the way. We have artists like Jay-Z and Jeezy who have found a way away from it and to still be who they've always been, but on more of a business aspect and treat it as such. But, nowadays it's who's the realest Enna, you know what I'm saying? And it sucks.
Yeah, it's definitely that. But, I was talking about this with Caleb the other day too. It's like like you just mentioned, these niggas like Jay-Z, Jeezy, who've done these things and telling us like, look, man, this ain't the way. The point of us being it. But we don't listen to these niggas. When they come back and it's kind of the same thing that's happened with the Kanye
Not everybody, yeah.
Mm-hmm. When niggas come back and they're trying to tell us real shit, we don't want to hear it. We want to hear them talk about drugs and violence and shit. It's the reason why that music is at where it's at right now. And other than shit like Kendrick Lamar and Chance and all that shit is falling off because everybody wants to hear these niggas rap about this and live this life. And I think a big part of that, what they feel like is like their biggest fear is like a nigga or someone proving that they're rapping about this, but not really there. You know what I'm saying? And all of that falls back on, like I say, keep saying over and over, the black community, man. Yeah. We hold ourselves responsible and hold these stupid things to each other. Like we're afraid, like niggas going up. Like at one point in my life, when I was in middle school, I went to all boys school. Don, you went to there for a little bit too. And like, I tell people all the time, you surprisingly or not, the most male toxicity and all that type of nonsense I've seen was at that all male school. You know what I'm saying? Sure. And it proves to you that especially within black males, it's like this automatic thing in us where it's like you can't. It's almost like animal instinct or something like that, where it's like it's embedded in you. Because I'm talking about this was like 7th, 8th grade, and I've seen niggas like literally get into a full blown fist fights over things like fucking chocolate milk and stuff like that.
I ain't gonna cap. That is the one school where I had my most physical altercations with any
and if you and now listen, it's funny, that's funny, but anybody that knows this nigga knows he is the least physically type altercation nigga. So the fact that being in an environment where it was all males is where he had that situation, that shows you, bro. It's like, it's this thing where it's like, yo, we got to prove this. And because even that argument, you watch that video with Quavo and the dude, like you said, something over basketball was mentioned. It's like, these are not things that we need to get in a full-blown argument. And it's not even the arguments itself sometimes. It's the level of anger we allow the arguments to get us.
The level of anger and the level of egotistic bullshit that we let get in between all of that emotion. And
I was thinking about that earlier too. That is right. And I feel like if we get deep with it, I feel like it is you know what I'm saying, when it comes to like the black community specifically, it's more of like a trauma thing that kind of went went down that we kind of got to work ourselves out of. Y'all see I got the Black Lives Need to Matter, the
Yeah.
Black People shirt.
Yeah.
We got to work ourselves out of that trauma because we as a community is so used to fighting, you know what I'm saying? Fighting for, you know what I'm saying, rights, fighting for
Right.
kind of like, you know what I'm saying, just ourselves that
Right.
the littlest thing now, we just go to survival mode, we go to fighting, you know what I'm saying? And that got passed down, you know what I mean? Like even when it
Right.
comes to, and people talk about, you know, black mothers, black this, black that, like black moms, they a lot of them came up like they have to be in survival mode and be aggressive because if not, they're
Facts.
gonna, you know, sit at the bottom. But I feel like at this point, there kind of needs to be something fixed. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of issue just fixed a little bit to where we can fix that issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm glad you said all of that because I'm gonna piggyback off of what Don just said because I seen a video of Gilly the Kid on Twitter that I resonated with wholeheartedly. Now, don't get me wrong, us doing this podcast, we are technically journalists, so it's our job to want as much information and to collect as much information so we know what the hell we talking about. You know what I'm saying? I have nothing against that. But when it comes to a black man, like especially a black man, anybody really, but especially a black man who's fighting for their life, and your first reaction is to record the black man fighting for his life instead of calling 911, that really is like disgusting. I'm not gonna lie. Like again, having as much information to know what's going on because we're the outside looking in and trying to get as much information as possible, totally understandable. But like I just think it's really unnecessary to see everybody on Twitter and on Instagram like resharing the video of his dead body and, you know, saying certain things, and there was even somebody I seen who couldn't find the video but they seen it, so they went on like a 3-tweet rant, like not really rant but like 3 tweets explaining vividly what the hell the video was about and what was being seen in the video. And it's like nobody wants to read that, like you know what I'm saying? Like if I mean it's just really uncalled for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, granted, we want to know as much information as possible, but again, like a black man dead in the streets in his own blood, nobody wants to see that, especially us as a black community. We should not be thinking that it's okay to see that on
That's
social
true.
media. Like we gotta cut that out. I'm not gonna lie. Like the way Gilly the Kid, shout out to Gilly the Kid, the way he expressed it was like right on point, and he had the emotion to go with it because it really is upsetting and it disgusts me as well. You know what I mean? We got to do better in that regard.
That's true. I see that. I agree with that as far as that. I seen that Gilly the Kid video too. My thing is though, is that I would say, to be honest with you, is like, because one of the things that you pointed out that you said, like the black man in the street, whatever, you have to, and I think this is why we constantly have these rebuttals about this, is because we can't come to the agreement that the internet is a separate thing to itself. And the leaders of the internet are celebrities and famous. Had Takeoff been some regular nigga on the block we live on, yeah, that'd be a little bit. He's Takeoff. There's no situation anywhere he could have been in China. If that situation happened, they would have he could have dropped off a building. He could have had a heart attack. It doesn't matter how he died. People were going to take their phones off and record it. And I think in life, if you're a celebrity, and Gilly the Kid is somewhat of a celebrity himself, he should understand, even Gilly the Kid, no one gives a fuck about him, but if he died, people would put it on the internet. If you're a celebrity, you have to expect certain things. There's a whole reason why them niggas just had that whole Kobe Bryant trial, because there's people who worked in the industry that literally went to that crash site just to take pictures because they knew it was Kobe Bryant.
That's so deep.
You gotta expect this when you're famous, dog. Like I don't think it's, and again, this goes for other people, because I see other people, not celebrity situations, but people, like I was saying, if you're a regular person, I feel like that's when it's really fucked up. Mm-hmm. But even in that, when you're you have to think about setting. It's not like Takeoff passed out in his house and died in his house and niggas broke in his house and came. That's not what happened. He was in a very public place at a party. You get what I'm saying?
True.
There's hundreds of people. Someone is obviously gonna call 911. The video of that kid in Orlando who fell off the ride and shit, people were upset that people recorded that, and I was too. But now on Reddit, and I was reading some people that were there, and they said, like, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you've never been in this situation of seeing something like this, don't talk. Because when I was there and I saw it, yes, first thing I saw was many people calling 911. So it made no sense for me to join the 10 other people I saw doing it to explain the same exact thing. Yeah. And out of like fear of not only thinking, okay, I might need to show this to someone later, I might need to whatever, my first reaction was to take my phone out and record. We live in 2022. If we even see some weird shit in the sky, our first thing is to take our phone out and record.
Yeah.
And I think if that's now taking the time to go upload it to the internet for some, reason that's not important, that's a little bit different. I don't think certain things need to necessarily be uploaded to the internet, especially if you don't have to put it. Like this Takeoff shit, there's already 10 videos, and everyone who was there now is now uploading their version in there. And it's like, you don't got to do that. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to do that.
We know what happened. We've already seen stuff. There's like 10 different girls, because if you look at the video, there's clearly a lot of girls around them. Almost all them girls don't put up their whole entire, I'm sure that's probably one of the ones you saw, Clay, of the account of exactly what happened, how it happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, and the funny thing too is that like everyone, while the main story is kind of the same, everyone has a slightly different take.
Yeah, that's probably gonna happen.
So it makes you wonder, is some people lying, or is life really just like we all see things
that game of telephone? Yeah. A lot of people probably seen it different.
Game of telephone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm thinking since in such a public place, then people probably whoever shot is probably gonna get caught really fast. Like if not caught already, because I didn't really check.
You gotta remember, they catch up. The one who are there any rappers where they didn't catch them?
I don't know. They catch them quick. Yeah, you're right. This is gonna be like
they caught Pop Smoke's niggas too, right?
Yeah, and they actually serving time right now.
Yeah, and they caught X's niggas. They caught
they caught PNB. They caught PNB shooter the next day. They knew who they was.
That's
what I'm saying. They're gonna catch them pretty fast.
What's today? Tuesday? They'd be caught by Saturday. I'd assume by Saturday. And remember, they caught Young Dolph's niggas too.
Yeah.
They're
gonna catch
because what normally happens is they catch one nigga involved and he just rats out everybody else because you know what I'm saying. So
it's such a big situation, they don't want to get tied into it. That's right.
Yeah, especially that. What time is it?
7:35.
I could do another 5 or 10. I'll let y'all know.
Okay. Anybody in the chat say anything?
This is just people in there. Nobody really talking right now.
Okay. Yeah, no, but so with that, like I said, we don't even got to add too much left to it, but I did want to go over this real quick. Starting with Clay since he has to go. What do you guys think is going to be not just musically, but in general, including musically, what is going to be the future now for QC and the Migos and Offset and Takeoff and Quavo? And I will say this, I'm going to answer first real quick. The one thing that I was thinking might turn out to be somewhat of a positive about this is that if Quavo and Offset truly were at odds and didn't hopefully this will end that situation. You get what I'm saying? And that they'll come together and hopefully maybe even make music together, tour together, whatever, if it's even just for Takeoff's sake. You know what I mean? So, but what do you think will be the future, starting with Clay?
Honestly, I honestly was thinking that to myself today, like while still trying to cope with the fact that this is even reality right now. And the first thing that comes to mind is, obviously Migos as a collective, they can do some things as far as Quavo and Offset together, but Migos as a collective is, obviously done for. So I feel like moving forward, QC is obviously going to put a lot of investment into Lil Baby, probably even more.
But let me ask you this. Do you think QC could last another even 2 years just riding off Lil Baby?
No. No, I honestly feel like they needed the Migos, bro. They needed all three of them, not just two, not just one. They need all three of them dudes. So
I think at this point, even with the Migos together, they still needed more than the Migos. And then they
still
were
needed
doing
more,
good.
But Migos was keeping them afloat because that last album that Takeoff and Quavo dropped is doing numbers. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it's definitely going to do more numbers now. You know what I'm saying? Everything their whole catalog will go up now. But
right, and it's going to do more numbers now. But moving forward, like. It's looking rough. Right now they only have Lil Baby. Is NBA considered QC or am I tweaking?
NBA Youngboy? No.
Yeah, nah. He's considered somebody else. But
honestly, he just signed to Motown the other day.
Motown, that's right. He just signed a deal to Motown too. Honestly, all they really got is Lil Baby. And whoever else is affiliated, but it's really
but even the closest. We didn't get to talk about this because we had technical difficulties on Sunday, but we'll talk about it Sunday coming up. Gunna and Young Thug situation is not looking good at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, their situation is not looking good. That's why I didn't even mention their name. I can't even say that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I didn't even mention them because they obviously not looking good. And even if you say like, ride off of what the catalog they have now, bro. I love me some Young Thug. I don't even listen to Sign Language too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like how long are we really gonna ride off of Young Thug and Gunna? And like all these little features that's coming out with them, like, you know, because obviously people want to show their support and they love for them. Like that already seems like it's kind of dying out. Like I feel like by the new year, we ain't gonna hear no new Gunna and Young Thug. It's gonna be quiet.
Oh yeah, no, they done.
Yeah, my nigga, because especially whatever they got, because I don't know. I'm assuming they're not recording while they're in there. So
no, definitely not. They are not Vibes Cartel. So no, they're not.
Yeah, because apparently he the only nigga that got that free card. But
right.
But if they're not doing that, I'm assuming whatever. I mean, Young Thug probably got a couple joints, a couple album worth of joints that he could drop. But like Clay said, bro, I don't think, man, bro, 3-4 years. It's funny. I'm really interested to see what rap gonna be like even 5 years from now, bro.
Bro, listen, I believe, first of all, with the Migos, to answer your question,
go ahead.
I feel like they may come together, like, and you know what I'm saying, settle whatever issues they got, obviously, because they family, you know what I'm saying. They'll settle that. They'll probably make a track like dedicated to Takeoff type deal, and then after that, I feel like they're just gonna kind of be done with specifically the Migos. You know what I'm saying? They'll be cool, but they're probably gonna do their own solo career.
I can see that happening.
I can see that happening. As for
what do you, especially Quavo, like, think about it, like, just think about this. How wouldn't you feel like if Quavo was to go right now and continue this, like, kind of talk about rap and shoot him up? Wouldn't it be like, come on, dog? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
so I'm just thinking,
if he does that, he's a fucking idiot. I know we try not to curse on this show, but he would be a fucking idiot if he goes back in the studio and keeps rapping about violence.
But then what is he gonna do? Like, and that's the irony. When you built your whole thing on that, what else can you do?
I'm thinking, not even truthful. I feel like it's music, it's creation. You got to get creative, bro. Like
that ain't these niggas forte, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm exactly. So I mean, look at somebody like Jay-Z. Jay-Z was still selling records, bro, and he was kind of getting creative with his records.
But these niggas ain't Jay-Z. Jay-Z one of them niggas. He gonna sell records even if he just on the record shitting. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And niggas gonna find some way to tell you
niggas
that's good.
Niggas got to get creative, bro. Like what I feel like as a community, we got to start kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like if there's not gonna be no real regulation, we got to start kind of shaming people, like you said, like who really try and act like they still doing street stuff and trying, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's the very rappers that we're listening to.
Yeah, but I feel like just as a whole, people just have to shame and be like, bro, like stop, like that, like first.
I'll tell you what I think. I don't think this is gonna stop it all because, like I said, Lil Baby's ass just proved that to me with this last album, and Kodak Black on album is acknowledging how he might get locked up for the things he's saying. He's just not caring. So these niggas are clearly on some status of where they're just like, you know, I'm not picking because they know I cannot rap and make music about nothing else. And if I don't make music, I'm not gonna be making these millions of dollars. Because another thing I don't care what these niggas want to tell you on records, they were not making millions of dollars out of the trap or whatever. Yeah. It wasn't until they started touching rap money.
Of course not.
Yeah. But you'll hear these niggas songs and they'll say things like that, like I've been touching the mill since before rap. I don't need rap, blah blah blah. Okay,
but look at somebody like
they might have grossed the mill, including a re-up.
I feel like somebody like
they might have grossed the mill.
I don't know about
including the re-up.
I don't know about Lil Baby. I don't know about Lil Baby because like I mean I listen to a little bit of Lil Baby. I don't really be feeling Lil Baby like that because I feel like his style kind of the same
as of recently. Yeah.
But like when it comes to like somebody like Kodak, I feel like Kodak is creative. And he could be creative. Looking at somebody like Lil Wayne. Like Lil Wayne don't really get on tracks and talking about like straight violence all the time. That man be, you know what I'm saying, really getting creative on his records. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Kodak
you gotta be witty.
Could do the same. Yeah, you be witty, be creative on your records, and it'll sell. You know what I'm saying? And
no, all these things, like even recently, like I said, because at least with Offset now he has the addition of family, so he mentions his family from time to time. But
we got
Offset and Quavo. I mean Offset and Takeoff.
Call him 1589. Well, we got two messages. Column 1589. We can't come together long enough as a people to affect change. And then Molly Tantina. Damn. So Jay Prince been scamming dudes off the dice. Them boys are going down for real. I did hear about on some mob stuff like
from what I'm hearing.
I didn't hear Jay Prince, but I heard some mob stuff.
Yeah, some shit to do with Jay Prince's mob in Houston or some shit, but I wasn't confirmed. I don't know.
We can't come together long enough as of people to affect change. That I mean. I hate to use the word can't. Because I feel like there's always, if there's a will, there's a way. You know what I'm saying? And it has to be.
No will.
There has to be a will, and there has to be a start to something. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, like you said, like we can't even come together for things unless it's a wedding, a funeral, a basketball game, some type of rap concert,
dice game,
a dice game,
or to collect some money.
Yeah, or to collect like black people don't even like to have conversations, dog. I don't know if any of y'all niggas have seen watch this show on HBO called they're in LA. There's like these black kids in LA. I forgot what it's called. It's called something. If anyone who knows me, it's like Issa Rae's reality show. These black kids in LA. And one of these black kids was trying to have a podcast, and they were talking to each other on the podcast. He got all his homies in there, just like kind of we're here, but it was more of them. And they were talking. Everything went good. Somewhere along the line, there's some confusion of insults, and these two niggas end up about to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we can't even when it's like, and they were talking about real deep stuff. Like they were talking, ironically, they were talking about how like men, particularly black men, can't talk about our feelings without shit getting crazy.
Oh, look at the iron.
And these niggas start getting crazy because one nigga takes something the wrong way that somebody says. And it's like, dude, along with like that, we were talking about the victim mentality and, I'm a victim. We got to start like choosing our battles with what people say to us. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't be shooting, even if it wasn't dice that they exactly shot at each other over what happened. We can't be shooting at each other and all that over things like insults and niggas. Because like I said, back in school, I didn't see niggas literally come to full-blown fistfights over the argument started over some like lunch shit. And by the end of it, someone's talking about someone's mom and niggas don't like that. And then now niggas is throwing hands. It's like,
and you know, it's funny. This may be a little hot take, but a lot of people so just like what you're saying, like victim mentality and things like that. Like it's been like for a good, like a little minute now, like a lot of people would say, if this white person said the N-word, this, that, and the other, I'm gonna beat it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But like me nowadays, bro, it's really just a word. I don't care. Like I don't care what you talking about. Like I'm gonna do what I gotta do. If you gonna say it, like whatever. I'm not gonna try and kill you because of it. Like if you're racist, you're gonna be racist or whatever. Like I'm doing me. I'm, you know what I'm saying? I got a family to provide for, like type stuff. Like, and I feel like that is victim mentality, and just like what you're talking about, because like the only reason people react such a way, like yo, what? Because you know what I'm saying, because of that trauma, and because like we, as a black community, we feel we are still like the victims in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to get over that, like get over it, and let's start building. You know what I'm saying, ourselves. Like that's how
where
I
it
feel about that.
starts. I was just gonna say that's where it starts. It starts with people, first things first, taking accountability that if somebody tells you you're a fuck up, it's not because they said you're a fuck up. It's because deep down you're a fuck up, and you need to fix something about that. It's not because that person called you that why you are that. So if somebody calls you something and you feel some kind of way, really think about why you feel that type of way. And it's probably because it's something you need to internalize and fix yourself. You know what I'm saying? But just me even having that thought process, most black people don't. Most black men don't.
Well, yeah. Because like Kaleem said, I feel like it's like, we can't even come together for the moment to even think and process, okay, we got to do something about this. You know what I mean? Because this doesn't, let's face it, man, it's not happening in other cultures. Not like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just true.
Day, bro. We not seeing country music artists gunned down during dice games or gunned down this. You know what I'm saying? If it's happening, I would like somebody correct me, but we not seeing it. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
No, it's only, especially as far as genres of music, it's only rap. And again, you could argue this is not new. It's been happening. You know what I'm saying? I would say it's happening excessively these days. But especially because of internet and location and all that. But it just has to. I don't care what niggas want to say. And I for a long time I was someone who wasn't really pushing this message either. But this music, this trap music, what do you want to call it, has a big part to do with it, man. You know what I mean? Like,
I definitely.
Because and it's not even the music. Because I'm a strong believer. I'm not one of those people that think like, you could play Grand Theft Auto, then go shoot up the mall, or you could listen to rap music. And, I don't think that. But it's the fact that people really want to be like these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like people want to be like them, and they themselves want to be like them. If that makes sense. Like they give themselves these higher egos to live up, more and more up. Like not just even with their money and the things they buy. We were talking about how I think we were talking about on here. Was it? No. I don't know. I was talking to someone about how Rick Ross has an 80-bedroom house, and that's just not necessary under no situation. It's only in rap culture. It's like this. It's like you have to live a fantasy. Like you're literally living in Grand Theft Auto. You know what I'm saying? And that shit does not work out all the time. Definitely.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Kaleem said this is why Ye got dropped from Adidas.
Who said that?
Kaleem. Explain that a little more, Kaleem. Oh,
Yeah, what do you mean? What do you mean?
He said something else, but Casey said there's more rappers now. It shouldn't be surprising that we have more dying rappers. It should be surprising, bro. Look how much pop rappers there are out there. Like, they not dying from being gunned down. If anything, they dying maybe drug overdoses. But
I think that's what he's saying. I think what he meant to emphasize there was trap rappers. There's so much trap rappers now. We shouldn't be surprised that we're seeing this because it seems again, just like the it's situations where even if they're not getting gunned down, particularly over like gang shit, it's shit that's like just ignorant rapper shit. You know what I'm saying?
Ego shit. It's ego shit.
And I want to say we all know violence does happen, right? Like it does happen. People, get killed. People get shot. But I feel like the black community and trap music is the only one that really like kind of glorifies it on a high scale. You know what I mean? Like
it is.
Yeah, I feel like
because it's to the point. It's not even just a glorification. It's literally it has to be on your resume to even be. Because we were talking about, we said it a lot on this very podcast. Rap is just being taken over by this subgenre of rap. You get what I'm saying? Like other rappers that don't do it, like you even said, pop rappers or rappers that are more so the kind of like like your little I don't know, like niggas like what I'm talking about. Niggas that basically ain't gangster, but they still rap. I guess that's why I can't remember. I can't even think of none on top of my head. Like that's super popular right now. Like you got NBA.
Kaleem said, what I mean is imagine the black community got together to call out the companies that put out racist messages.
Oh yeah, that's what he's so. But but again, and if you don't, but there's people that don't believe or want to agree that Kanye West was shut up intentionally by the people that shut him up. So
my thing with that statement right there is, I think they're more, when you say put out, like, are you saying they're the ones releasing the racist messages? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because when it comes to trap music, remember, the artists are doing it. You know what I'm saying? The labels are just profiting off of it. You know, like it's kind of like when Tupac said, "Give them guns, step back, watch them kill each other." Like they gon' give you. They have the money. They're gonna give you the platform. If you gonna rap about killing your brother, your people, go ahead. Like I'm gonna profit off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, rap has always been run by the gangster nonsense. That's what Casey just said. Rap has always been
not always.
I wouldn't say I was always. Rap is weird. Like there'll be times because let's not forget there was a time period where that dance shit, niggas didn't want to hear gangster shit. They just want to hear soul snapping fingers and the shoulder lean and all that shit we used to do in the clubs and shit. And then there was a time period where niggas just wanted to hear the stuff like Kendrick and J. Cole, just about like the wokeness. We just happen to be in this, but he's right. There was a time also, I'd say maybe the late 90s, mid to late 90s, where gangster rap was like, if you wasn't on some gangster shit, you know what I'm saying, that was it.
Yeah, late 90s. And then it
kind of started to change around 03, 04, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you could say 50 Cent was the last real gangster of 03, of that era. Because after he dropped Get Rich or Die Trying and The Massacre, after that, it was straight like that. Crank that shit and all that. So, you know.
When I listen to 50, right? Because, like, okay, 50 Cent was gangster music, but I don't think it was, like, on the level of today's music. Because if you listen back to 50 Cent, that
nigga was kind of graphic.
Yeah, he was graphic. He was more.
Man, go ahead.
He was more of like a real deal storyteller, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like this, he wasn't
promoting it. He wasn't saying go do this.
Yeah, he wasn't promoting the violence. Same thing with Jay-Z has said that in an interview. He's like, if you go show me a rhyme where I'm actually promoting the violence, I'm like storytelling. I'm telling you what's up.
These niggas.
These days,
they say like I'm doing it. I'm gonna go do this right now.
I'm currently doing it. Like after I finish,
like it happened just now.
Not only that, happened, but then they add an excited ass ad lib afterwards.
Yeah.
He did. I did it.
I ain't lying.
Come on.
Like back. You know what I'm saying? Them boys with storytelling. Like this. So I feel like there's a difference there. Could it have been toned down back in those times, like with 50 and them? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but like,
I wouldn't even say toned down because 50 Cent was very graphic with some of the things he said, but the message was just delivered differently. It's like the difference between watching like a slasher movie and a torture movie. You get what I'm saying? Like the torture is intense. Slasher is something you're going around killing people. You know what I mean? Like,
word.
So this gangster rap or trap rap, cause I don't really like saying gangster rap, but trap rap now I think is definitely the most toxic and violent.
Yeah, it's very toxic, bro. Yeah. And like I said, I feel like it'll only take like regulation, like real deal regulation from like some government stuff, and maybe this Atlanta stuff. I thought actually it didn't, but I thought that would do something. But like you said, Lil Baby came out with his record. I didn't listen to Lil Baby's album. I listened to the first 2 tracks, and then I wasn't feeling it. But
it's like because like even him, he's just
I thought the Atlanta situation with Young Thug and Gunna was gonna, at least tone these people down. We were gonna get more creative stuff and just everybody with.
But nigga, I'm telling you, they can't do it. Like I'm pretty sure even Quavo right now is probably like, bro, so I was mostly rapping about bitches and guns and violence, so now I could just rap about bitches. Like I don't know what else. What else is Quavo? Can you even picture Quavo rapping about some other shit?
Quavo, I always thought Quavo was kind of a little more creative.
Musically, like sonically, musically he's a little more creative.
He can get himself a writer or something. They you know what I'm saying? Create you a nice album. Like stop worrying about the.
He might need to get a writer.
Man, what he needs to go do.
You know what's crazy, and I would say with Future, right? Because like I don't Future just dropped an album, or I'm tripping.
No.
Like last year.
I mean, if you talking about the joint with him in the car, the I Never Liked You Anyway shit, that was like a couple months ago. Right?
That was like earlier in the year.
That was pretty straight. I ain't gonna cap, but I remember at one point like he was dropping bangers, like singles and stuff like that. Like Trophy was a dope record, and then he's like, yo, I'm gonna stop this and I want to go back to like the street niggas. Like I want to make music back appealing to street niggas, and he was kind of going like the pop route. You know what I'm saying before. And why
he saw his streams going down, bro?
You think it was streams?
Yeah, he got it.
He
gotta be.
Maybe. But like he was
think
getting
about when he made DS2.
Dirty Spell.
DS2 went crazy, and my man was literally talking about drugs the whole time.
Yeah, because like you gotta think, bro. With it gotta be streams because Future's the type of dude. He has certain endorsements. Like he don't really be getting the big ones, but I've seen him in a couple commercials for like some companies and stuff, and he's still gonna get that money regardless. You know what I'm saying? Because he got those from the gangster rap and all that shit like that. So the only thing I think that would make him be like, all right, I gotta go, it would be streams. Because most niggas, you know what I'm saying, they do that once they switch over to the pop charts. They're like, all right, you know what I'm saying, I'm good. So
all right, so we got a few comments. I'm just gonna say them all, then we can talk about them if anything. So
after the comments,
1589. All right, bet. Kanye can be as rich as he want to be, but he's still part of this same broken community, unfortunately. KC, top selling rap album of 2005 was the documentary by The Game, Not No Dance Music. And Sean, the issue is also that at the end of the day, white people are in charge of what type of rap gets the most promotion.
Okay, first off, The Game's album was the top selling album of 2005 because of his affiliation with G-Unit and all that promotion that 50 Cent gave his ass. That's the point we're trying to say here. 50 Cent and his droppings that he made was the last of that shit. Like The Game came right after 50 because remember 50 busted him more than he busted even Lloyd Banks and the rest of them niggas because Game was selling the most. That was the last of it. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas wasn't really, they were still selling to an extent, but people wasn't really trying to hear. You gotta remember, niggas wanted to. When did that shit come out? Like like them franchise boys, like and my white. That had to have been like 05, 06. I remember I
can look it up
high
real
school
quick
when that shit happened.
Yeah.
That was even when like young, what's his name that used to be with T.I., the dark skinned nigga, young, what's his name? I forget what his name was, but even him, he made more dance music. Even if they were saying like, gangster shit in the lyrics. Huh? Young Dro. Yes, Young Dro.
I was saying 04.
Oh, well, yeah, you magically reminded me of the nigga's name. But Young Dro, yeah, he was also they were saying gangster on tracks, but it was like dance music. I would say the documentary was probably the last in 05 or the only real hard
but like I was saying, it is gangster music. But it's more. I feel like it's just more from a storytelling point of view.
Yeah, even with The Game,
because Game is a storyteller as well. Like
that whole album of the documentary was like a story. There was literally parts of it that he told it like a story.
Literally called documentary. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I feel like had he not done that, had it just been him on there just random tracks of him talking about violence, it wouldn't have sold at that time.
It wouldn't have sold.
Exactly.
That's true.
So
that's true. But yeah, I gotta cut out, man. Appreciate everybody for pulling up.
Keep it,
you know what I'm saying? You already know, man. And yeah, new things coming soon. Definitely got some announcements coming soon, so look out for that. But pop up on them. I'll holler at y'all, man.
Yes,
You already
sir.
know the
All right,
vibe.
we'll see you Sunday, bro. Me and Dom will hold it down for a little bit.
You already see y'all
Word.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Word.
Let me get this in.
Uh,
And then I'm gonna read you the other one in a second. I'm just doing this so. All right. Yeah. So and then Colleen said Kanye can be as rich as he wants, but he's still part of the same broken community, unfortunately. And Sean, the issue is also that at the end of the day, white people are in charge of what type of rap gets the most promotion. So with the white people are in charge of the what type of rap gets the most promotion thing. Yeah, I mean I understand that to a point, but we still the ones put like rapping, you know what I'm saying? And I guess you could say it's like depends on whoever wants to go out there and put that message. They're the ones who gonna do it, but we still the ones doing it.
right, but I mean, like what Sean is saying is like kind of like what we were saying with the whole Kanye with the major deals and the manufacturers.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the money and the support behind you to promote and manufacture, it's no point. It's like it's almost no point of even doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the fact that it's like these niggas, they got to do what they're told to an extent. Because if Quavo walks into whoever is the boss of QC, I forgot, they go in there and they tell him, bro, you got to keep up with the gangster shit. He has to keep it up. He can't stop. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. And Kaleem just said we patronize it though, and that's true. And like I said, I mean it's just
we patronize it. What you mean we patronize it?
If I'm thinking correctly, he kind of means like we kind of like just we want it per se, like we praise it in a way, I guess. If that's what you mean, Kaleem, let me know.
No, I don't think that's what patronize means.
It wouldn't work if we didn't listen to it, and that's why they put it out. It wouldn't work if we.
That's what I said earlier. Who said that?
Kaleem.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Is that they're basically just reflecting what we want. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because like I just said, like you just pointed out, Future had noticed when he started making Trophy and all that shit. Like, yo, my numbers is going down. They want that gangster shit, so we had to get back to doing gangster shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
So we support it. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, that's gonna have to be, and like I said, I know Kaleem said we can't get to come together long enough, but that's gonna have to be something that really we come together on. There's gonna have to be a start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like to use the word can't. If there's a will, there's a way. It's gonna it has to happen somehow. Unless
But
you know what I'm saying?
Is there a will?
Yes, because there are people that need money and they're gonna do what it takes to get it. Yeah, I mean, that is true. That is true. But
I mean, especially if we're talking about here hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Like,
and that also comes down to like what are you what do you want millions and millions right this moment? Because I feel like look at somebody like Kendrick. Kendrick been doing this thing for so long. Like before a lot of people knew about him, he probably was making his little couple, not even probably hitting 100,000s yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Making his little bread and then started coming up. Like it depends on what you accept. Like, cause I feel like if you're making a good 100,000 a year off music, I feel like niggas can live off that. Until, you know what I'm saying, you make the right moves.
We just mentioned how a nigga like Rick Ross feels he has to have an 80-bedroom house. Niggas don't want to just be living. That's the problem. I think we even mentioned this before very early on when we started doing the podcast last year. These niggas is like, they can't even, nobody just wants to be like, okay, I'm just on the level of a Young Dolph. Everybody wants to be Drake. Half these niggas want to be Drake. You know what I'm saying? Or on that level. And it's like, dude, if those are your aspirations, clearly you have big things in mind. You know what I'm saying? And you need a label for that.
Sean said, Casey said, well, nah, Trophies was just trash. I guess he wasn't feeling Trophies. But Sean said, y'all are thinking there's people that have sense. We can separate the music from reality. The most easily influenced, brainless are the majority. That's true.
Wait, what? He said what?
He's pretty much just saying like the ones the brainless and, you know, the ones who can't separate the music from reality are the majority. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would go as far as say some people don't want to separate it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I feel like that's more of just like I feel like that's a culture, because like I feel like little Timmy that lives in Calabasas somewhere, he could separate it. He'll probably listen to Lil Baby and walk outside, and you know what I'm saying. He's not gonna act like Lil Baby or act like Young Thug or act like Gunna. What they're portraying on the TV, you know what I mean, as entertainment.
Yeah,
And then
that's. I was talking to.
also these rappers need to stop like doing the same thing, mixing entertainment and reality, and that's why they getting in issues like this.
But like I said, I feel like in their mind, they're like, yo, if I'm just sitting in my mansion all day, not doing all these things, I can't rap about them because niggas will catch me and then I'm exposed. And a rapper's number one fear is exposure. Like they literally fear that. And yeah, so it's like I don't see no way of it stopping.
Oh no,
I was talking to Casey earlier and we were saying like how it's funny because the main people that probably actually put money into niggas like the Migos, Lil Baby and them is probably like you said, Lil Timmy who lives in some suburb, you know, in Calabasas at the end of the fucking cul-de-sac, right? And Lil Timmy don't care if you're a gangster or not. In real life, he wants you to be a gangster for him when he turns on YouTube, but Lil Timmy don't care what Lil Baby goes and do it. Only us black people be like, man, I wonder if Lil Baby really be in the streets like that. You know what I'm saying?
That
like,
nigga
why
don't
do we
be in the streets?
Yeah, like you see, like it's us. We
Bro,
and little niggas look like Lil Baby. It's like, bro, like we said, money wise, the majority of niggas like that money probably comes from Lil Timmy, not from the niggas in the hood. So why is it that we catering to hood images and hood expectations? It's like
that's
so crazy.
Yeah, and that right there needs to stop. Like that should not be an insult that you're not in the street selling dope, struggling.
Full blown insult to these niggas, man. Full blown insult.
Like that should not be an insult, bro. Like
full blown insult to these niggas. Like, don't try me.
Yeah. That's what it stops when they realize the money don't come from the people who want them to be really street. The dudes from Migos said themselves.
That's what I'm saying.
They didn't grow up dirt poor. It was a choice to sell drugs and get into that life. They didn't need to. Yeah, that should be shamed. You should be called an idiot for that. You should be like really dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I will argue you don't know people's lives. Some people were in situations where they lived like if you listen to Jay-Z, niggas that know Jay-Z's life was a situation where he literally had to go provide for his little sisters and his mom, and he had nothing to do but sell drugs around Marcy.
Yeah, trust me. No, I understand that. That's what I'm saying.
Because he wasn't about to go get a job working at Macy's or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, so.
And I completely understand that.
You can do.
And that's why I say they come from storytelling point of views. If that's what you feel like you had to do, you know what I mean? Like, hey, do what you got to do. Tell your story. You know what I'm saying? But if your family worked hard to not make you do that, and it's more of like, okay, just keep pushing our family up there, and you decide, nah, let me go sell dope. Let me go sell drugs in the street and like risk my life and look stupid. Like, nah, that's that's
the problem too. We glorify it, and we, like you said, we do this thing where it's like, bro, the black community is so fucked, bro, so fucked. We do this thing where it's like, you people like say you, for example, you have kids, and you and Rachel could work your whole lives to make sure your 3 kids grow up, don't have to ever see no guns, no violence, don't see no drugs. They grow up and they're good people. They'll go up and go to school and be in like 11th grade, and niggas will make fun of them for that. Niggas will make fun of them. This is another thing I was talking to Caleb about the other day, like even with the Kanye situation, how it relates to family. The black man in America, right? When he's absent and he's not there, when he only sees his kid once in a while, when he only comes by to drop off some Jordans and wherever, he's a deadbeat. He's a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't have had to kill him to begin with. When he's a nigga like Kanye West or Future that literally fights to try to have his kids in his family, and it's like, oh, you crazy. You a stalker. You won't leave her alone. Why you won't leave them kids alone? What's wrong with you? Them kids is bad for you. I hope them kids, like, what do you, like, why do we glorify things that are so stupid? And then when people do the right things, we're like, oh, that's corny. That's whack. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, your kids could grow up, and just because they was not brought up in like a terrible gangster environment, people will make them feel like they're lesser of a person than some nigga who did. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what's going on so heavy in rap right now. It's like, bro, I done been in situations where even like niggas like that's on the tier 1 trying to come up in the rap game, they just getting their shit together. Do you play their shit? And niggas will say it's corny just because it don't got no, it don't sound like the Migos or like, you know what I'm saying?
That's why I mean, as a whole, it's gonna have to come to a point where a lot of people got to start shaming niggas like this, like niggas who start to, you know what I'm saying, get a little money and they start go doing dumb shit. Like, like going out and selling drugs in the street or trying to, you know what I'm saying, be something they're not, or not even be something they're not. Like just do something that you don't have to
You
do.
don't have
You
to.
know what I'm saying? Like
You know,
that
so you
is
don't
just
necessarily have to.
that's stupidity. You know what I mean? You know, gotten like brain cells or something. People call me Carlton or the dude from 8 Mile because I went to a private school or because I can swim. Yeah, 21 Savage is never in these situations and nobody is questioning him. That's why you don't listen to the crowds. You listen to God. Personally, I don't care, but why is it like that? Yeah, nah. I mean,
But look at that. Look at even 21. Obviously, this was a brief period of time. But as soon as niggas found out, oh, this nigga's from England, and obviously everyone in America's whole image of England is just this soft ass place where no gangster shit happens. And so niggas like, oh, he's from England. Oh, he ain't gangster. He fake, blah, blah, blah. They started clowning him. He had to lean even heavier into his gangster Atlanta
my
image
man went
to even
crazy. Yeah, you're right. I did notice the switch up. My man just went
That's what
crazy with the gun talk.
he had to lean. He had to. Oh, I'm straight Atlanta gangster now. Like I'm watching interviews with this nigga, and they asking him how he got rid of his accent. I'm like, bro, like, and he left. He from what I remember, from when they saying he left when he was like 10 or 11 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was pretty late. I've never seen nobody in my life, even our parents who left other countries, they have somewhat of the essence of that place in the accent. How did you switch completely from that to this Atlanta gangster? And then it's like, nigga, you gotta keep. Now that you started that. You got to keep it up. You got to see it all the way through. Because as soon as niggas see some type of crack in your armor, that's it.
Let's go take a book. Niggas got to start shaming these niggas, like calling them corny. Because I do think it's corny. I think it's corny. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas like that, it's just, to me, I really think it's corny. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same way. But a lot of people really believe this image that they're putting on, a lot of them. And I don't know, but I feel like a lot of them they need to be shamed for it. Like, it's corny, bro.
Yeah, at least for the making each other feel bad about, you know, like you got people like it's like cool to not have a father type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's obviously not, but that's like once you tell people like, you know, all right, what's your story? You know what I mean? I grew up with my mom and dad was, I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
grew up a bunch of parents. I know exactly how your life went. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, no, you don't. And you know, but again, that's all stuff in the Black community. It don't, you know, one of the quickest or the, I guess, easiest, not easiest, but it makes you look good as a rapper or better if you have some type of struggle story or you came from the slums and shit like that. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I wish it would be a cool thing to be from the opposite of that environment and still be a good rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Infinite Media said unless he faking his accent this whole time, talking about 21 Savage. And Beach Boy 50, the smartest gangster rapper in history of hip hop. And yeah, we was talking about 50 earlier.
Yeah.
I was saying 50 is like a really good storyteller. You know what I'm saying? You can tell that just from how he speaks. Really
Bro,
good
when I was a little kid, when I was a kid, and I would like have the headphones on and the CD listening to like Get Rich or Die, it's like I could literally envision the shit the nigga was saying. You get what I'm saying? Like the way he would paint the picture of the story. And like you were saying earlier, that's completely different than what we have today and how it is today.
Like it's they're not telling a story. It's kind of like they're sending a threat. That's what they do it. Like when you really think about it, like they threatening you. Like, hey, this is my whole fucking album full of threats. Like, come try me if you want, like type shit. Like, and that's ridiculous. There's no real creativity in it, and that's why I really don't listen to a lot of artists like that I guess not necessarily mainstream, because there's some, like I listen to some Kendrick. I listen to people who like are real creative. Like I listen to a lot of local music, like local creatives, because like that's where you get the real creativity and real talent per se. Right now it's just a lot of like just people just glorify the street shit and it just takes off like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and so, but in regards to back to the whole, you know, so we could kind of log off soon a little bit, but in regards back to the whole Takeoff situation and with the Migos and stuff like that, do you think that we could, how do you explain this? Do you think that they will ever change how they feel about that stuff? Not even just based on things that happen to them, like getting shot or getting robbed or whatever, but as far as like how we feel. I think you did mention earlier, you were saying like we would have to shame them or something like that. You said that we have to like
So I feel like So you're saying like you think it would have ever happened type? Or
yeah, like how would that work exactly? Like how do you see that happening? Like them being shamed into not.
It's gonna take a lot of leaders of communities. It's gonna take a lot of leaders of like music.
But nigga,
like,
these are the. Let me ask you this because this is even better. Who would you think, as far as the black community, who do we consider our leader?
All right. So, okay, so like when I say leaders, like people like okay, if we're talking hip hop or rap, right? It's gonna take people like Kanye. It's gonna take Jay-Z. It's gonna take P Diddy.
Kanye.
Yeah, I mean, but
Kanye's one more interview from being crucified in front on live television.
It's gonna take him plus those people. They're gonna have to tell him he's gonna have to need serious PR. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like in a way Kanye does, he has messages, but he's just gonna need some PR. It's gonna take people like 50. 50 gonna have to get involved. Like they gonna have to be the ones who come together first, to be real, and like really like yo, we need to do something about this type shit. I don't know, man. I don't know if it would happen, but they gonna be it's gonna start with them, and it's gonna trickle down. Beach just said NBA YoungBoy is the leader. He's NBA YoungBoy.
He's the leader of what? He's the leader of what?
That gangster like putting like.
I would say he on the forefront. He definitely on the front line, but I wouldn't say the exact leader. But he's definitely on the front line. But yeah, it's just weird because like I saw what's his name? What's the basketball player that's cool with George Floyd again? Or it was
Steven
Jackson. He made a video this morning cussing out Kanye West, as he's been doing every day for the past week. And in it, he stated like, "Oh, nobody listens to you, nigga. You just Kanye West. We don't listen to you. Black people don't listen to you." And it made me start to think like,
that's
maybe he's right. Well, he's right and wrong, but even if he is right, let's say he's right, black people, it made me think like, who do we listen to? Who is right now are like, because a long time ago there was that time where Farrakhan or Jesse Jackson, they was they was like the automatic emperor of black people. But who is it the person now? Because niggas don't, even back in the day, you remember like even around the time of like 03 with Nas and 50 and them, niggas used to listen to Farrakhan. Farrakhan was bringing all these rappers together to end beefs and shit like that. But these new kids don't give a fuck about Farrakhan and that shit like that. So it's who is the person that black people were like?
Well, it's gonna be somebody in hip hop. Let me just go over a few comments real quick that I missed. So Infinite Media Play said, "Hold up, didn't Pac go to drama school?" That's a good comment right there. I'm gonna talk about that after too.
He was a real actor. He was an actor.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. So somebody need to give them mob ties dudes some wedgies. Right. And I talked about NBA YoungBoy.
Who said that one?
Beach Boy. And then how about we stop making entertainers our leaders? I have something to say about that.
That's it.
Cole, a leader.
That's where I was going. Those are the leaders.
Charleston White, the new Farrakhan. All right, so with the Tupac, Tupac was an actor. He did do drama school. He
also was a ballerina.
Yeah, he was a ballerina too. I feel like he was with that situation, and both Tupac and Biggie getting murdered like that. I feel like that was kind of like foretelling rap music at that point. Like it's kind of like if you want to get like spiritual with it, I would say that was a message like, yo, calm that down because that is gonna happen more often in the future.
This is gonna become a thing.
Yeah. And it didn't get calmed down. So
it did not.
Yeah. We need to stop making entertainers our leaders. I mean, I guess it depends on like I feel like we need to make our leaders like if they a real leader type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the question. What is a black leader in the black community these days? What is a real black leader? We don't got none, nigga. The last one that I think Barack Obama was probably the last leader that black people considered, you know what I'm saying, that was in a position of power. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think we, you know what I'm saying, we don't have no leaders. That's why we're so just do whatever the fuck.
Beach Boy said he wasn't no ballerina, but
nigga, that boy's a ballerina. He was twirling around. He was dancing with them girls. I seen that documentary.
What was that? I heard that before. I didn't really see the.
That man was a dancer. He was sweet. That man was a ballerina.
But yeah, so when it comes to the leaders, like who would be the leader for the black community? I mean, I don't know, man. We gotta.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Nobody
look
knows.
deep in your community. We gotta find one.
Nobody
I mean,
knows, bro.
and it can't just be one leader. That's not good. It got to be leaders.
I agree.
Like, and I wouldn't say. I wouldn't completely cut off entertainers. You know what I'm saying? Just because they're entertainers doesn't mean they can't be leaders.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
but the entertainers that are, because for example, right? I feel like one of the reasons why I think Black people, why we don't have no leaders, is because the things that we glorify, that we look up to. We mostly look up to money, power, and like that. And so the people that have that mostly in the Black community, let's be honest, are athletes and rappers, who are basically one and the same as far as behavior.
As soon as you say athletes, Infinite Media Plus said LeBron, and you know what? I ain't trying to be a LeBron dick rider, but that would be a good person to really.
He would be, but
idolize
LeBron is too like. LeBron is, and that's what's going to get into about the NBA players. They're so connected. You got to remember, LeBron is basically signed to Rockefeller. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jay-Z claims that nigga. The NBA niggas are so embedded and intertwined with rap. It's like LeBron can't convince no rap nigga to not be a gangster. You get what I'm saying? Like, he couldn't. You think LeBron could have sat down with Quavo and Takeoff and convinced them to not be going to that dice game? I don't think he could have done much. There's got to be somebody that's like not in the mix with these niggas, that's like respected at the same time, that they would actually be like, okay, I hear what OG's saying. But all our OGs are gangsters, literally OGs, original gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Literally all of them. Every single person that's like in the Black community that we look up to, that's like that. But then there's people, like I was gonna say, you got your Oprah Winfrey's, your Denzel Washingtons, you know what I'm saying, your Baracks and shit like that. But their career paths are not career paths that we see realistic in the Black community. In the Black community, they don't teach you that you could be like Denzel growing up. They teach you that you could maybe be like 50 Cent, and you could maybe be like LeBron and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? And that's if you get lucky. Yeah. They don't never tell you, oh, this is how you could become a Denzel. This is how you become an Oprah. You get what I'm saying? This is how you become a Condoleezza Rice. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you all that type of shit, because it's just not the career paths that we I don't know, that we accept into our community, or that is part of it. So, because like somebody like Denzel, I feel like people like him or Spike Lee or something could be a leader, could be you know, but they don't care to be involved in this kind of stuff because it's just so messy, bro. You know what I mean?
That's true. All right, so more comments. Beach said Trump. exclamation. Sean said, because our communities are not funded, you have to be somewhat intelligent to not fall into the trap of only rappers or athletes being your idols.
And that's basically what I just said. Because we are our communities are not funded, they don't care about us, they don't teach us like nothing. Like, bro, I remember with that period of time in my life where I was going to like this you know, one of those schools for kids that ain't doing too well. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a bad environment. It was a bunch of kids who, like me in that situation, had fucked up. And most of them was fucking up because they were either involved in selling dope or just other shit, gangster shit they shouldn't have been in. Some real Freedom Rider shit. And one of the days they sent in this chef. I don't know where he was from. He was a chef, but his purpose of being there was to just show us, like, you know, chef shit and how to get into the career path of being a chef. And these kids were so amazed. And I remember thinking, like, yo, y'all didn't know that y'all could like do this? You know what I'm saying? And that shows you it's like certain career paths for some reason are just not realistic to us. They're not, and because they're not realistic to us, they're not presented to us as realistic. Yeah. So we just don't consider them. And then that's how it ends up being this thing of like he said, it's like Sean said, you have to be somewhat intelligent to not fall into that trap, because you have to know there's more than this. I could be bigger than this. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna take like a huge reverse. It's gonna have to stop somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, something has to start. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we have nothing, not even no ground for anything right now. You know what I mean? Like, something has to start for this mindset to change. Like, I don't want my kids to be subject to like any kind of weird street stuff. You know what I mean? But like you said, when they go to school and there's kids there who glorify that stuff, and they're like, oh, yo, like, oh, you know, you got your mom and dad and this, that, and the other. Oh, you're not from the streets. You know what I'm saying? and it's like they trying to make them feel bad for that. That right there is one huge thing that needs to be, you know what I'm saying, done for. Because like say all those people went to a white school or a higher private school type deal, and there's a bunch of white kids in there. What they gonna be? They gonna be joking people about not having fucking 401ks and you know what I'm saying?
Bro, and that's the
what they
crazy
joke they
cultural
people
difference.
Off with. So it's gonna take a start.
Yeah.
I hope more guys denounce gangster rap like how Designer just did. Change has to be from the inside out. If Trump pull up to that dice game, no gun would have went off. I mean,
I guess.
Yeah, I guess that
They'd
is a true
probably be
statement.
very surprised that Trump pulled up. So that would probably be the main reason why there would be no gun.
But yeah, I hope more guys did nice gangster rap. You know, I'm right there. Like just like I said, we got to shame, especially people who because in a way, some Kendrick is gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? That I've heard in a way, because like I've heard Kendrick speak about just situations maybe he's witnessed or. You know what I'm saying?
But we were just talking about the difference in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's a difference in talking about what you saw on the streets to you saying, I'm at a dice game, shoot a nigga over a rolling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, if we gotta if we don't want to combine those, I mean, we gotta denounce gangster rap like how you saying.
Yeah, man. But again, denouncing it to me seems like it would be such a difficult thing because I feel like the only true way to denounce it that would make them have a reaction would be to not listen to it and not stream it. And I don't see that not happening. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that not happening. I don't see people not going to I was at Something in the Water festival when Lil Baby came out. Mm-hmm. Bro, you would have thought Jesus walked out on that stage, man. Like it was the most everyone at the festival went to a stage to see someone. You know what I mean? And it just shows you, bro, like, I don't know what it is. Because even like you said, the white kids, Lil Timmy, man, wants to hear the gangster.
But I feel like Kendrick had the same type, and like I know there's a lot more Kendricks out there, you know what I mean? Like I feel like he had the same reaction because of his creativity. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson wasn't talking about shooting niggas up. Like that man was fucking talented. Let's bring make music talent, make rap music talented again. Like,
but it's like if you're not, the way the black community works is like, for example, a big artist right now is Steve Lacy, right? I don't know Steve Lacy. I like his music. I like his song. You know, Bad Habits and all that.
I just heard of him the other day. I gotta check his music.
Yeah, he's starting to get more and more up there. But if you look at, and again, I don't know the man's sexual orientation, whatever, but you can tell he's not exactly the masculine black man type. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's like if you're not Steve Lacy, what are your options? You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise, they don't want to hear you if you're not. If Frank Ocean. I feel like there's a reason why back on that day in 2010 or 11, Frank Ocean had to put up that Tumblr post admitting he was gay. I feel like people around him and his label was like, look, the route you're going, you're doing pretty well, and we want you to keep doing better. You got to put out, give a reason for all this emotional, weird music. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying he's not gay. He obviously is. But he could have kept that information to himself. He probably wanted to. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But I feel like it's this thing was unless you are that type, they're not going to allow you to you're not going to make money off of making music like that.
Yeah, I hear that. You're right, but hey, shit, you gotta get creative. You gotta get creative with your career. I couldn't even tell you. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like I have a conspiracy theory that Lil Nas X is capping. You know what I'm saying? Like he just he just out there doing shit, trying to get them streams up.
If he's capping, it's a good cap.
That's what I'm saying. That's my conspiracy theory, bro. Like because like, and he got creative and he got
and it's
streams
true.
Up.
Because like I said, you could be, I told him all the time, once you start something, I even said it today, you have to finish it. You got to see all the way through. Because especially once you and your corporations behind you start making money off of it, you're going to have to keep going that route, bro. There's a reason. There's a reason why Atlantic Records gets Kodak Black out of jail every fucking time. When
get that man out, boy.
They're like, bro, we got to get him back at all costs. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel that. And they probably, you know what I'm saying? He probably come out and try not to do you know what I'm saying, that music. They probably like, yeah, nah, go back to the studio, my boy.
Yeah,
go back to the studio, my boy.
You know what I'm saying? Just give another go. Go
back
in there.
We need to hear that dirty. We need to hear that dirty corner Kodak. And
yeah, man. Because like I said, like this last album he put out is hard, but boy, is it.
I listened to a little bit. I didn't catch the whole thing, and I don't know, man. It got to start somewhere because, like I said, I mean, it sometimes it really is just entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's entertainment and it's good. Like that. If we gonna say do that to rap music, then stuff like movies, shows like Power need to come off the network because you know what I'm saying. Like people, you don't want people to start emulating the show Power and stuff like that. Right. So it's like we need to get to a point where people could really look at it as entertainment, and enjoy it as entertainment. But I don't know, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, we could close it off after this, but
facts.
But like you said, entertainment is entertainment, and it should be. But things like what happened with Takeoff just makes you feel like, damn, bro. Like, at what point is it not so entertaining, and now it's just kind of like sad? You know what I'm saying? Because even listening to some of his songs today, I was just like, bro, like, you literally died by what you was rapping. You get what I'm saying? And like I said, the irony is that like when they present it in their music, they present it like they're gonna be the ones doing the killing, and it's like. But you look at the situation happened with him, and you're like, dog, you didn't even live to be 30, bro.
Yeah, Molly 10, Tina said, oh, yeah, that's true. At least spreading awareness is all we can do now at this point. That's facts.
That's all we could do, man. That's all we could do.
Get on this podcast, shame people who do that fakery stuff, and you know what I'm saying. If you out there and like we said before, if you really got to go out there and do what you got to do to survive. Do what you got to do, but then there's some point where you got to pull a Jay-Z. You got to pull a 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, tell your story, but after that, get creative and you know what I'm saying, do something with your career, man. If you're gonna be in a creative industry, you gotta really get creative, bro. And that's
But again, there's always argument. We could argue that rap is not requiring niggas to be creative no more, But yeah, man. So at the end of the day, bro, RIP to Takeoff. Facts. Again, we obviously hope that we're not talking about no other deaths in the entertainment industry anytime soon. But you know,
I don't see it stopping, bro.
I don't see it stopping.
I don't see it stopping at all.
RIP, everybody. Make sure what you listen to, separate it from reality. You know what I mean? Because being a gangster out here don't exactly pay off all the time. So,
facts. Shout out to Molly. Molly said. They just subscribe. Shout out to you. Y'all got a good pod. I just subscribed. Shout out to you. Appreciate the subscribe. Everybody else in the podcast.
Thank you so much, man.
If you're not subscribed, subscribe. This was like an impromptu live. We usually go live. We're trying to do every Sunday, so tune in on Sunday. We're gonna go live again. We're gonna have some guests. Beach, I seen you was in here. I hollered at you about being a guest. If you're still here,
holla at Beach boy.
Yeah, we still want you on the show. And whoever else in the chat, everybody are normal people. Yo, pull up, man.
They know this, man. Everybody in the chat. We hit you up. You know, you're welcome to join the conversation anytime. Everybody that's in the chat, like Don said, please, we always forget to tell y'all, but like, comment, subscribe, let people know that we just on here talking about everything that goes on, bro. And we definitely, like you said, it was impromptu. It just happened. It, went pretty well. We're glad that y'all was in here talking. Sunday, we definitely going to be back. And we're going to pick up a conversation where we left off last Sunday, and we're going to talk about some new things. So,
big facts.
Thank you again,